Sometimes you just don't know where to start, right? It's such a huge task. You have no idea where you're going. It seems like an impossible thing, and it's overwhelming. And that is exactly when we start procrastinating, because we think that it's not possible. We have no idea what we're doing, and it's way too big for us to be comfortable with this. So this type of procrastination is organizational procrastination. So we are in part 5 already of our procrastination series. And last time we saw anxious procrastination. So we talked about this executive brain function of inhibitory control. And I give you some tricks on what to do when that kind of procrastination happens, right? So today we're going into part 5, which is the 4th type of procrastination. And this is connected to the executive brain function, which, let's do a quick recap. The executive brain functions are the things, the emotional control that we have in our brain that control our behaviors in order to make us achieve our goals. Okay, so that executive brain function that is connected to this specific type of procrastination is the working memory. So the working memory is an executive brain function that has a limited capacity to hold information temporarily in a short-term state. So that means that our working memory is an executive brain function that we are somehow restricted by. We cannot remember everything, and we cannot see a huge task all at once. We need to break it down. We need to chunk it down, because we can't remember all the details and everything, because our working memory only has a few things that can be done at once. Our logical mind, as you probably have heard me talk about many times, can handle 5 to 9 pieces of information at once. That's not a lot. We get overwhelmed very quickly. So when a task is so big that it includes more than 5 to 9 things within it, we get very quickly overwhelmed. So here are my 3 tips for you. The first one is to chunk it down. So break down the task into smaller little tasks, because if you eat it one bite size at a time, just like when you eat a meal, we don't swallow the whole plate at once, right? We chunk it down. So chunk down your task, make it smaller. The second thing is write it down. So write down what are those smaller tasks and organize them, because getting organized is really gonna help in that overwhelming feeling of having this huge task ahead of us. So I love to use Trello. So Trello is my system. That's what I use. Maybe for you, it's a system of Post-it. However, careful with the Post-it, because we can lose them. It's not as easy to organize them. So there are so many different platforms and so many different systems you can use now. I use Trello, and on my Trello board, I have different color codes for the important stuff. I can move things around, and I also have a little butler that automatically moves the task that I do every week back to my to-do list every Monday morning. So I don't have to rewrite the task that I do all the time, because there are at least like 10, 15 things that I do every single week. I record my blog, I post it on my website, I post on social media. There's a lot of things that are recurring. There are things that I do once a month. So I do my billing, I do my commission check to all the affiliates that are selling my online courses. So there's a lot of things that you want to do once a month, and my little butler in Trello goes and put that every first of the month. I get this appear on my today. And you can have many different categories, different types of tasks. You organize all of them by different categories if you'd like, and you can drag and drop them. So you can drag them into today and then you can put them back if there are more tasks within this category. So it's a very good way to get organized. I love Trello, and if you want, I'm happy to walk you through it and see if I can help you find a way. Because with a lot of my business mentorship clients that were not organized and would see everything as a big mountain and would procrastinate for that reason, just showing them how I organize my Trello board was like a big light bulb for them. And they're like, oh my gosh, that's it. It's going to make so much sense. And all of a sudden, when things are broken down into different categories, and today, these are the 5 tasks that I'm going to do, it makes a huge difference. And then the last solution is look at all the things that you have to do and see if there are some steps that you can skip very often, and make sure that what you are actually doing is important. Because sometimes when there's a huge task that needs to be chunked down, it instead of having one thing on the to-do list, we all of a sudden have 9 things on the to-do list, which are smaller ones. So of course we want to get organized. That was the previous step, and we want to chunk things down. But after a while, you end up having so many tasks on your to-do list that you start panicking. You're not sure how to get these organized. We will talk a little bit more about this in the next part of the procrastination series. But just for today, this is the system that, gosh, has been promoted by so many different people, is categorize them. Those that you must do today, and it's very important. It has to be you, and it has to happen today. Those are the ones that you're going to do. The things that are important but are not urgent, you have to schedule them. And that's what I do with my Trello. I schedule them, and I know that I will be doing this at that time on that day. So then it's out of my shoulders that I'm like, oh yeah, I have to do this. Oh yeah, I have to do this. And then it's stressing me out. I schedule it, and I know that I will follow my schedule. The urgent and the not important, you've seen that before. If it's urgent, but it's not super important, maybe somebody else can do it. Maybe you could get some help. And I could not live without Penelope, my assistant. She's absolutely amazing. She's golden. And there are lots of tasks that I thought for the longest time that I was the only person who could do it like that. And guess what? She does it better than me now. She teaches me stuff all the time. So sometimes there are some tasks that are perfect for delegating. And then the not important and the not urgent, maybe you just delete those. Get them off. You don't need those on your Trello board. So I go back to my Trello board on a regular basis, and then I look at what's on it, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's right, I wanted to do that. Gosh, delete. I don't want to do that anymore. So make sure that everything that you want done actually needs to be done, right? So hope this helps. This was for our part 5, which is the 4th type of procrastination, organizational procrastination. So get organized and make sure that you can chunk down this huge task. So if procrastination is one biggie for you, check out our new course coming out, Think Yourself into Action. So this is going to be a course on ways to get unstuck and move into action. So it's strategies to end procrastination and end overthinking. So check it out, and I will see you next week as we will look into the 5th type of procrastination, overbooking procrastination. Guilty, right? Yeah, sometimes I procrastinate on some tasks because I've overbooked myself and I have way too much. So we're going to see that next week. I will see you there.